2 years, and one of the items on my bucket list was write a book. So here it is. New York, a book of short stories about people who decide to live in the Adirondacks. And so tonight I'm going to read an excerpt from one of the stories called Pepper and Popcorn. Angel woke up to the sunlight pouring in the window. Why hasn't the alarm gone off? She thought it was Monday. Her pup, Ariel, was already standing beside the bed, ready to start her day. They hurried downstairs for breakfast and realized that Mom had already gone to work. No sooner had they finished eating than their dad took them into the park to play. After an hour of romping, he led them back inside and they found sunspots to take a snooze. While they slept, Dad went upstairs, and by the time they noticed him again, he was bringing his suitcases down to the front door. Were they going somewhere? They watched with growing alarm as the suitcases went out to the car, then his laptop, monitor, and printer. He closed the trunk and put his bike on the back carrier. His backpack came out and they knew his favorite mug was in there, along with toiletries. What was going on? Finished packing, Dad finally came over to them. They both sat at attention and he chuckled. He rubbed them both behind the ears and told them to be good girls, checked to make sure there was water in their drinking bowl, gave them each a treat, and headed out the door. That's the last time either dog saw him. The day had barely begun. They weren't sure why Dad had packed so much stuff this morning, but now everything seemed pretty normal. Angel was still convinced it was Monday, and if she was right, Mom was at work. She and Ariel could hang out until their parents came back from work, and everything would be fine. The afternoon passed in the usual way, and the pair relaxed into their weekday routine. They heard Mom's car pulling up and raced to the door to greet her. She grinned and set down her insulated lunch bag and her purse, then scooped the dogs into her arms. Burying her head in Ariel's puppy soft fur, she said, "Yeah, we've all been abandoned together." Mom went into the bedroom, 2 dogs following closely, to change out of her work clothes. Then she went down to the kitchen and fed the girls. Finally, she prepared an omelet for herself and ate it on the kitchen island. She led them into the fenced-in play area and watched them from the deck. As the sun went down, they all went into the living room to watch a little television before bed. Her phone rang the Jessica song, so Mom answered it quickly. Angel listened carefully. Dad hadn't come home and she was worried. "Hi, Jess. Yeah, he left sometime during the day. It looks like he packed everything and just took off. The dogs are okay. He took care of them before he left. I still can't believe he interviewed for an out-of-town job without saying anything to me until after accepting the position." A silence lasting several seconds. Then Mom said, "He never said anything at all about my moving on with him. It's like he used the new job as an excuse to break up with me. I think that's even worse than a text breakup. Now I'm stuck with the rent for this house and I can't afford it on my own. I'll have to find a cheaper place to live." They settled into a new routine, although Angel and Ariel were always listening for Dad's car to return. They missed the runs in the park. Mom had been busy before, but now she was constantly going places after work, and the dogs didn't know why. When she was home, she was busy too, cleaning more than she ever had before, even though there were fewer dishes and fewer clothes that needed cleaning. Mom was cleaning out closets and giving away some of the stuff that was stored there. The house was getting emptier. A month or so had passed when Mom put Angel and Ariel in the car. The dogs were excited, although Angel's excitement was tempered by the knowledge that they could be going to the vet. That wasn't the case, though. They drove in the opposite direction from the vet, out of the neighborhood and onto a highway. Mom kept talking about how they'd love their new home, their new parents would come for them soon. She sounded sad. They'd never been on this road before and were curious about the changing scenery outside the window. Mom hadn't driven it before either, which may be why she was doing the speed limit. even though this section of road allowed cars to enter from side roads. The car ahead hit a pickup truck that was turning onto the highway and then spun around into the other lane, opening space for Mom to hit the truck. Big white balloons opened up, and the car door crumpled so badly that it didn't stay latched. Angel and Ariel left the car, and frightened by the backed up line of traffic, the horns, and the people racing over to check on Mom and the other drivers, Angel told Ariel to follow her. They ran into the woods by the road and kept going. I have to tell you, because my husband told me this was really important, the dogs are okay. They're going to live in the Adirondacks. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that spoiler, because my heart was breaking into a million pieces. All right, before Martin comes up,